Hi, this is Paul Drapast. I want to say this is going to be my first 24-hour movie marathon. I want to thank Ryan Chattaway for, I think this is the sixth annual that he's done it, and I know a lot of people have participated in the past, a lot of great fellow YouTubers. And Angel Tarragon, I watched his a couple of weeks ago, his 24-hour movie marathon, and so I'm on vacation now, so from work. I wanted to participate in that, and it gives me a chance to watch some movies. And some of the movies that I picked for my marathon are movies that I've seen before, obviously, but some that I haven't seen, and some that I want to revisit. So I'm grateful for this. So I'm getting ready to. It's 9:06 a.m. right now. Started this a little bit later than I thought I was going to. Thought I'd get up at 8 o'clock, but I kind of went to sleep a little bit later last night, so that's why I'm starting a little bit later. But I'm going to try to do it over 3 days. Try to do it 8 hours today, 8 hours tomorrow, and then another 8 hours on Wednesday for my 24 hours. And again, like I said in my video, I just don't want to disrupt my sleep pattern by staying up, try to stay up 24 hours to watch movies, or even 12 hours. It might throw my sleep pattern off, which I don't want to do. Okay, so anyway, I have my movies here. And if you look on Instagram, you'll see the movies that I actually picked. You can see I made a video a little while ago about the movies that I actually picked. So up next, I'm getting ready to eat my breakfast. I have some honey nut notes right there. I don't know if you can see it too good from that distance, but I have some right there cereal I'm gonna eat right now. So I'm gonna try to watch 2 movies now, and then probably go get something to eat. And well, I'll tell you. But what I'm gonna do actually now, when I watch this first movie, after it's over, I'm gonna actually I'll come back and let you know what I thought. I'll give you general thoughts. I don't want to spoil a movie for anybody that haven't seen the movies. So I'll just give you a general thought, and I'll give you a rating, I guess, what I'll do for what I think of the first movie. And I'll let you know what the first movie is. Okay, according to the thing, the rules, the first movie should be a movie with a number in the title. And for that movie, I'm picking 8 Men Out. Okay, this is a really fantastic baseball movie. I haven't seen this in a while. Written and directed by John Sayles, I believe. Yep. And this is based on the 1919 World Series Black Sox scandal. For those who know baseball, I'll tell you in my general review what it's about. But anyway, this is a great baseball movie, great cast: John Cusack, Clifton James, Michael Lerner, Christopher Lloyd, Charlie Sheen, David Stratham, and D.B. Sweeney as Shoeless Joe Jackson. Okay, so definitely gonna watch this right now, and I'll come back and let you know give you my general thoughts and what my rating is, and then tell you what next movie I'm gonna watch. Okay, so let me stop the camera now, and I'll see you in a bit. I'm back. Hi. Just got through watching 8 Men Out. Excuse me, 8 Men Out. I forgot what a great cast is in this movie. Besides, of course, you got Charlie Sheen there. John Cusack, Michael Lerner, Christopher Lloyd's in this. Charlie Sheen, of course, David Stratham, James Reed. I said Christopher Lloyd already, right? Of course, written and directed by John Sayles, based on the Black Sox scandal. Of course, about the players that threw the World Series, and just it's a really great movie, great period piece, as it were, and just an excellent movie. I would definitely give this movie a 9 out of 10. This is excellent. They really captured the feel of the period and stuff, and the players and stuff, and the behind the scenes and everything that was going on in this really great movie. So again, 9 out of 10. It's been a while since I watched 8 Men Out, and just as good as I remember it. So definitely a 9 out of 10. Highly recommend that one. I wonder if I think that should have got nominated for a Best Picture or something like that, but I'm not sure about that. Anyway, next up in the marathon is going to be Predator. This is the 3D version. So I'm going to get my 3D glasses, I have a 3D TV, and watch this. Predator. This is the first one, the original, with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay, I guess it's a nice particular cover. So I'm going to be watching that. I'm going to get me some water and watch this, and I'll come back in 2 hours or whenever this is. I forget how long this is. And let you know my and this would fall under the category of a movie with my first initial of my name, which is Paul. So Predator. I picked Predator 3D. Okay, so that's it. So I'll see you in a bit. Later. Hey, I'm back. Take these 3D glasses off. Just got through watching Predator, the 3D version with Arnold. This qualifies for the P in my name, and for the 24-hour marathon, the P. Take a movie with the first initial, so that's Predator. Okay, it's been a while since I've seen this, and it's you know, typical movie they made back then. Um, you know, with an action in it. You know, it had Bill Duke in it, Jesse Ventura, Carl Weathers. Also, one of the soldiers in this movie is Shane Black. You know, who's a writer-director now. I don't know if he was back then. He was an actor, I guess, and became a writer-director. But anyway, he's one of the soldiers actually in this movie. And of course, the guy who plays the Predator is Kevin Michael. What was his name? Kevin Michael Peter. I think that's his name. Kevin Michael Richard. I forget. It's 3 names anyway. He's one of those guys. I think there was a show back in the '90s, like Misfits of Science, and he was like a real tall guy. And he was one of the guys in there, and he plays the Predator because I think he's like 6'6" or something, 6'7", like that. Anyway, so he played the Predator, of course, because he has the size. And also, I noticed at the very end of the movie, he plays a pilot as well in there. Just very briefly, if you watch the movie, pay attention to it. Towards the end of the movie, he plays one of the pilots. Okay, so that's how I noticed that when I was just watching it. I guess I never paid much attention to it back then, but he plays one of the pilots, so I guess so you can see him in human form, I guess. Anyway, great action movie, typical of what Arnold made back then. A real good action in it, violence and a lot of shooting up, a lot of jokes and stuff, and so it's a real good movie. Just, you know, typical '80s, well, I think '90s. This came out in the '90s, I think, but typical action '90s movies and stuff. Arnold was in good form in this. He was the leader of the crew that went out to on a mission to supposedly rescue somebody, and of course, the Predator was there to hunt them, and just a really good typical action movie, but you know, with Arnold's usual flair. Anyway, and Sonny Latham was one of the guys as well. I forgot to mention that too. He's played one of the guys in his crew. He's real good in this as well. So anyway, and Bill Duke too. He was one of the guys in the troop too. Bill Duke, who's he's an actor, director too as well. But really good movie. I would give Predator. The 3D was okay in this. It was decent for a movie made back then. You know, they improved it later. You know, it wasn't come out originally in 3D. They added 3D later. So, but it's pretty good. I'm gonna give Predator. I'll give it an 8. Predator an 8. Definitely one of his best back then. Anyway, so that's that. And I'm getting ready to watch a movie with the W in the title, which is another thing in the marathon. You have to pick a movie with your last initial, and that would be W in my case. Okay, just a little clarification. I was going to watch White House Down, okay, with Channing Tatum and Jamie Foxx, but then I decided, you know what? I watched an action movie with Predator. Why not watch a drama, kind of drama? So I picked another movie with W in it, and that's Witness, Harrison Ford, Kelly McGillis. Okay, so that's this. And Lucas Haas is in this too, so a young Lucas Haas. So I'm gonna watch this, and I'll qualify for W. And then after that, it's about 1:07 p.m. Then I think I'll probably go get something to eat, and then come back and probably watch 2 more movies, and that'll be it for the first day of my marathon. Okay, so I'm gonna watch Witness, and I'll be seeing in a little while. Hi, I'm back. I just got through watching Harrison Ford in Witness, Kelly McGillis, Alexander Goodenough in this, and I also saw a young Viggo Mortensen in this as well. Of course, Danny Glover's in this as well as Joseph Summer, and it's basically the story of a Amish woman, her and her son, you know, they recently widowed, and they go to town to visit her sister, and along the way, there's a young son played by Lucas Haas. He witnesses somebody being murdered. So naturally, the police, you know, come and question him and try to figure out who did it. And that's all I'm going to say. But basically, what happens? Well, you can just tell if you've seen the trailer. But basically, what happens? Harrison Ford's character, John Book, he has to kind of flee with the witnesses and go back to Amish country to kind of hide out a little bit, and that's all I'm going to tell you about it. It's a really good drama, again, crime story, and also a little romance in there as well. With Kelly McGillis, I think her and Harrison Ford had good chemistry, and again, a young Lucas Haas in this is good as well. And it's basically kind of a drama, a crime story, and a romance, and it's pretty good. Peter Weir directed this, of course. It's a very well done movie, and I would have to give it a I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Witness, I really enjoyed it. It's been a while since I've seen this, but it's a really good story, really good suspense, and like I said, a little romance in there as well. So that's takes care of the W in my marathon. Okay, you got to pick a movie with your last name, and my last name begins with W. So that was Witness for me. So that's it. And now the next thing. Hold on for a minute. I'm gonna go get something to eat, and then I'm gonna come back and continue with my marathon. And I'm kind of gonna skip over the next one, which is like a film that's over 180 minutes long, because I want to watch a couple of movies before I stop the marathon for this day, and then I'm gonna upload the video. Okay, but day 2 I'll start off with the 180-minute movie or longer. Okay, but the movie. The next thing up is a classic that you've never seen, and that movie, in this case, is going to be the Criterion version of It Happened One Night. This stars Claude Colbert and Clark Gable, and this movie won 5 Academy Awards. Won Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Director, and Best Screenplay. Now, I've never seen this one, but this is a classic. Frank Capra did this, so it's about a runaway socialite and a roguish man of the people reporter, Clark Gable. Okay, and so that's all I know about it. So I'm gonna watch this, and again, it won 5 Academy Awards: Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Picture, and Best Director. Yep, and Best Screenplay. So It Happened One Night. That'll be the next movie up, and that'll cover the classic that I've never seen. Okay, for the marathon. So I'll see you in a little bit, and I'll been eaten by then, and then I'll go on to the next movie, which should be a box office or a critical flop or both. Okay, so see you in a bit. Hi, I'm back. I just wanted to make note. I had to come back from the store. I got a nice grilled chicken sandwich and some Doritos. I'm gonna eat that while I get ready to watch for my classic Hollywood movie. Again, it's going to be It Happened One Night. Claude Colbert and Clark Gable. It won 5 Academy Awards. Directed by Frank Capra. So I'm getting ready to watch this. So I'll see you in a bit. Later. Hey, I'm back. I just got through watching It Happened One Night. Frank Capra, of course, starring Clark Gable and Claude Colbert. And basically, this is the story of a runaway socialite played by Claudette Colbert, who's spoiled rotten, and she's just eloped actually, and her father has basically commandeered her and basically holding her hostage on a boat till she kind of comes around, and then of course she doesn't, and then she runs away from him, and she basically is trying to get back to her husband who she eloped with. Okay, and of course she runs into Clark Gable's character, who's like a man of the people kind of reporter, and he's just been fired from his job. Okay, and he kind of runs into her on the road, and of course this movie's a classic. It has witty dialogue. The back and forth between Clark Gable and Claudette Colbert is fantastic, and of course she's spoiled rotten, and of course he's fed up with her being spoiled rotten, and but how these movies usually go. They're on the road traveling, trying to get basically from Miami up to New York, and of course during this period of time they have their back and forth and stuff, and of course at the same time the father is looking, her rich father is looking for them everywhere, and has people out looking for them on the road and stuff. And this movie is just hysterically funny and romantic, and just a fantastic film. And now I see why it won the 5 Oscars that it won. It has great witty dialogue, great acting by Clark Gable and Claudette Colbert. It's a great romance, great road picture as well, and just a fantastic story. I definitely highly recommend this, and I would definitely give It Happened One Night a 9 out of 10. It's just absolutely fantastic movie. Okay, definitely deserving of the 5 Oscars that it won. Anyway, so that's my review of It Happened One Night. Okay, now on to the next movie in my movie marathon. Now, the next thing to look at is a movie that's a box office or a critical flop or both. And I think this next movie kind of qualifies for both, a critical flop and a box office flop. And I'm talking about George Lucas's Howard the Duck. Actually, this was produced by Howard the Duck. It wasn't George Lucas wasn't directed by him. It was directed by someone else. But Howard the Duck. I remember at the time this came out, it was there was supposed to be, because this is based on a Marvel comic book character, and it was supposed to be this big thing. Everybody thought this was going to be the next franchise, but of course it wasn't. It was a box office flop, and definitely a critical flop. So it's been a while since I've seen this. So that's the next movie on my movie marathon. Okay, and this will be the last. This should be the last movie in my movie marathon. So when I come back, I'll give you my review of this, and then I'm going to put all the parts together and upload this. So this will be my part 1, and I think that'll be almost like 10 hours of into the movie marathon, and then I'll pick up again tomorrow. Okay, so later, and I'll come back with my review of Howard the Duck. Hi, this is Trey Passer. The last movie in my movie marathon, 24-hour movie marathon for today, is a movie that is a critical flop and a commercial flop, and I'm talking about 1986's Howard the Duck. Of course, this was produced by George Lucas, and it was based on the Marvel comic book character who was a wisecracking, cigar chomping, foul-mouthed character who got drawn to from a parallel, basically from Duck World. He got pulled in by mistake to Earth, and in this movie, an adaptation of it, he gets pulled into Earth, where he meets rock singer Beverly Swizzler, I think that's her name, played by Leah Thompson. And of course, he attempts to get back to Duck World and has to adjust to being on Earth. Now, this movie is very dated, of course, because this takes place in the 80s. So, of course, every girl in the movie has big hair, big, that big poofy hair they had in the 80s. And a lot of the comedy is really, really not hit or miss, really miss. A lot of misses on this. Besides Tim Robbins being this as well, he's in here as like a friend of Beverly. Who's kind of like a wannabe scientist who's trying to help Howard get back to Duck World. Then you have what's his name? Jeffrey Jones, who was in Ferris Bueller Day Off as the principal, who's trying to catch Ferris playing hooky. He plays like a real scientist trying to help Howard as well get back to Duck World. And there, like I said, there's a lot of bad jokes in there. Duck jokes. Every other kind of joke you can think of. Tim Robbins, someone got secondhand embarrassment for Tim Robbins because he's just acting wacky and goofy and goofy. And I remember when this came out, and I remember seeing they show you like a brief shot of Duck World, and I always thought, I remember when I went to see, I think I went to see this movie. I think I did, and I always remember telling my friend I wish this movie had taken place in Duck World, because Duck World, the little bit we saw of it, looked totally cool. Okay, but again, once he got pulled to Earth, like I say, Howard is not lacking in self-confidence. Just say that Howard the Duck, he knows what he wants and wants to do it, and he wants to get back to Duck World. And of course, like I say, he develops feelings for for Beverly and stuff. And of course, there's this evil overlord character that wants to basically use the same device that dragged Howard to our world to bring down his fellow overlords and take over the world and all that stuff. But this movie is just, like I said, it's very dated, but also a lot of the jokes in there are just not funny. Okay, and a lot of funny and not not funny, and a lot of bad puns and they saw a couple of special effects. They look really dated now. I guess back then they wouldn't, but it just, again, and it's not the problem with this movie is not the character of Howard the Duck. It's everything else around him. Basically, the bad puns, the bad acting, okay, the lousy music. Okay, just everything else around the character of Howard the Duck is actually pretty good. I actually expected him to be a lot more fouler than because that's how he was in the comic books. But just again, and the only reason I'm going to give this movie the rating I'm going to give it is because of the actual actor that does the voice, I guess, of Howard the Duck. I think he did a good job with that, and also I guess Leah Thompson for a certain scene, and people who've seen this movie will know what I'm talking about. Okay, but other than that, this movie is a complete disaster, and I can see exactly why it was a critical failure and a flop. Okay, so I'm going to give Howard the Duck a 5 out of 10. Okay, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. It's just a really bad movie with a lot of bad jokes. Okay, and again, I feel bad for Tim Robbins at that. Thankfully, he recovered from being in this movie, of course, and of course Leah Thompson did as well. But it's just a really bad, really bad movie. Okay, a lot of horrible jokes, really horrible jokes, a lot of bad music, and just a disaster of a movie. So again, 5 out of 10 for me. Anyway, that's the last movie in my movie marathon for today, and it's about 7:50. So, and I started about, so I think that's about 10 hours. I think 7, 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 12 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 5 to 6, 6 to 7. Let's say, yeah, about 10 hours. I think I did about 10 hours, if I judge it right. About 10 hours, or maybe 11, right? Because if I go like 7 to 8. No, I started at 9. I'm sorry. 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 12 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 7, and 7 to 8. Well, I stopped a little bit before, so it's not quite 11. I'll say 10 hours. I did about 10 hours and maybe a half of 10 hours and 40 minutes, I guess, of into my movie marathon. And tomorrow I will continue. Okay, and I'm going to upload this video. Once I render it to clip it all together, this will be part 1 of my 24-hour movie marathon. And tomorrow I will start again, but this time I will start with the movie that's over 180 minutes. And I'll be a little sneak preview of that one. I didn't want to start this today because I wanted to watch a couple of other movies, and this movie is like over 3 hours. So I'm going to start this in the morning. Hopefully I can start earlier, so that way I can get more movies in. Okay, so this movie that I'm going to see tomorrow is a classic, Hollywood classic, and of course stars Kirk Douglas and a host of stars. So this is the movie I'm going to start tomorrow with my movie marathon with, and that's Spartacus. Okay, so that'll be my movie that's over 180 minutes for my movie marathon. And again, I want to thank Ryan Chattaway and also Angel Tarragon for making their movie marathon videos, and I'll leave links to their channels in the description box. So please check those out as well. And I look forward to doing the next parts of the movie marathon. And this is Trey Pastor saying so long and take care.